So today we're going to talk about separation anxiety in dogs. First of all, what is separation anxiety? So basically, according to a well-known neuroscientist, there are 7 systems in the brain, and some of those are the fear system, the play system, and there's also the panic system. And separation anxiety is associated with the panic system in the brain. And in humans, the panic system is associated with panic attacks. So basically what happens with separation anxiety in dogs is every time their attachment figure leaves, they literally have a panic attack. So the whole time you're gone, your dog's having a panic attack at home, which some of the symptoms include destruction, particularly at exit points like the doors, the windows, excessive drooling, pacing, vocalization like whining and barking, soiling inside the house. All of those things can be symptoms of canine separation anxiety. I'm going to include a link somewhere around here to an article that I've written that explains separation anxiety in a little bit more depth. It gets a bit scientific. So if you're interested in that, click the link and have a read of that. So how does separation anxiety occur? There's no real definite answer for this. We don't really know, but there are a few possibilities, or likely possibilities. It could be related to genetics. It could be related to the fact that the dog may have never been taught that it's okay to be on your own and how to cope with being on their own at a young age. And another possible reason for separation anxiety is actually when owners use the cry it out technique with a puppy or dog. If you don't know what the cry it out technique is, it's basically leaving the puppy alone and waiting until it stops crying before you go and let it out or go back in to see it. And this technique is proven to cause psychological distress in dogs and babies, and makes the dog less confident and less independent, which increases the likelihood of separation anxiety occurring. So before you begin treating your dog's separation anxiety, I would definitely recommend you visit a vet and talk about potentially using some medication to help your dog just bring down his base stress levels, which will make the training process a lot easier than trying to just do it without medication. Not all cases do need medication. That's definitely something you can discuss with your vet. The second thing when treating separation anxiety is it's important during the training process that you actually have a period of suspended absences, which basically means the dog is never left alone unless you're doing a specific training session where it's set up. And this is so that, again, you're not just constantly leaving your dog to, cry it out and get stressed while you're gone, because trying to train your dog at the same time, when they still go through that every day is going to be really difficult. So suspended absences might seem impossible, but there's almost always a way around it. You can use a dog sitter, a daycare if your dog's friendly with other dogs, friends, neighbours, family who can come and take turns and mind the dog while you've got to go out. There is almost always an option. If you're really struggling to think of one, even speaking to a trainer or a behaviourist that specialises in separation anxiety, you might be able to brainstorm some options to suit your lifestyle. What you doing? You're coming into my lap. Are you? he'll fit. Okay. The other thing is I have actually created a canine separation anxiety support group on Facebook, which I will put the link again somewhere around here on the screen. And the aim of this support group is not only to give advice for owners with dogs that are suffering from separation anxiety, but also I really want to create a network of people who can swap babysitting duties, you know, people who are all going through the same thing, being able to swap babysitting duties to help everybody else out, to help each other out during the suspended absences period would be so awesome. So you can hop on there and join that group, and you might find somebody local to you that's willing to swap babysitting duties. So that's another option. So once you've figured out how you are going to proceed with the suspended absences, then you can begin the training process. So things that are going to be really helpful during the training process is, number one, if you have two devices, like I use my laptop and my phone, and I have two Skype accounts so that I can Skype my dog the whole time I'm out of the room, which is amazing. But there are other things you can use as well, webcams, anything like that where you can watch your dog live is priceless in terms of treating your dog's separation anxiety, because it means you are going to know the exact point at which you need to go back into the room before your dog escalates and gets really stressed out. Another thing that can be really useful is a baby gate, and that's for later on in the treatment program, just splitting criteria so that your dog can learn to be in a separate room from you, but without actually having the door fully closed at first, before you progress to having the door fully closed. So those tools are really good. The other thing you will definitely need is a dog bed or something comfy that you want your dog to learn to be really comfortable and feel happy and safe on. So what treating separation anxiety really involves is being able to build up your dog to enjoy being alone from the tiniest absence and building up very gradually to a longer absence. And this doesn't just start, an absence doesn't mean you're out of the house. Depending on, you know, where your dog's at and how severe your dog is. I mean, this is my dog Loki, and he had very severe separation anxiety. And we started building up absences where he would lie on his bed and I would be 3 steps away from him, and building up from being 3 steps away to him being really happy on his bed while I walk around the whole room, and then from there building it up to me being out of the room but still in full view of Loki so he could still see me, and then again gradually building it up to me being out of the room and out of view, and then once he was happy with that, moving on to being out of the room with the door closed. And once you're onto the step where you're out of the room with the door closed, that's when you start to really build up some longer durations. Again, starting with 1 second and building up to half an hour, very gradually, which is where the Skype or webcam comes into play. So a really important thing when treating separation anxiety is a really good understanding of dog body language. You want to be able to notice any minor stress signals that your dog is offering so that you know when it's time to come back in before your dog escalates and becomes really stressed. You know, and stress signals can be very, very subtle. It could be something as simple as an eye flick to the side, a head turn, a yawn, anything like that can indicate stress. So it's really important you learn how to read your dog's body language. I will put a link somewhere around here that will give you a good resource for learning dog body language. So you're probably wondering who this is. If you don't know, this is my dog Loki. He is deaf. He was born deaf. He's 2 years old, and I rescued him from Australian Deaf Dog Rescue Group. He has had very, very severe separation anxiety, and there are quite a few people who will vouch for that. I'm talking this dog at his foster dad's house, bashed through a steel garage door to get out and try and find his attachment figure. This dog will jump an 8-foot colorbond fence, no problem. He will break through anything and everything to get to his attachment figure. When I first got him, I couldn't go to the toilet and close the door without I'm talking about you, without Loki having a total screaming meltdown. You know, he was very, very severe, which was horrible for him. You know, he was such a wreck, and it's so sad to see and to know that he feels, like that is horrible. So in the next video, it's basically, it's going to be a video on Loki's journey through his treatment program through separation anxiety. I know, Danny, yes, thank you. And how far he has come from, you know, the point of, you know, not being able to go to the toilet without him to where he's at now. And he's in a much, much happier, better place now. So, yes, that was Loki. So, yeah, that's you, isn't it? That's you? Yeah, you good boy. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it helps somebody out there who's living with a dog suffering from canine separation anxiety. Make sure you keep your eye out for the next video, which again I'm going to put a link somewhere around here to the next video, which will be all about Loki's treatment and journey through the treatment program of separation anxiety, and it also gives a complete step-by-step visual guide of how I treated Loki's separation anxiety, and how far he's come since day one. So yeah, please like, share and subscribe for more training videos, and make sure you check out our support Facebook group for canine separation anxiety. And happy training!